The path to financial freedom is one of the most popular goals in the world. It's also one of the most difficult for people to achieve. While it might seem like an impossible task, there are several steps you can take to get started on your way to becoming financially independent and achieving your dream life. First, define your definition of financial freedom. Let's start by defining what financial freedom is. Financial freedom means different things to different people. It could mean the ability to take a year off work and travel the world, or it could mean being able to afford the mortgage on a house in an exclusive neighborhood without worrying about making payments every month. For some people, it's simply being able to afford a new car or go out for dinner once every couple of weeks without feeling guilty about spending money. Whatever your definition of financial freedom is, make sure that you write it down somewhere so that you can refer back to it when making decisions about your money. Your definition will guide all other steps towards achieving this goal, and keep you from straying too far from the path. Second, save money in the long run. The first step to financial freedom is to save money. You need to save for the short term, like your monthly bills, and you also need to save for the long term, like retirement or a new car. For example, if you have an emergency fund with $1 million in it, that would be enough money to cover any unexpected expenses, like a car breaking down, and help you avoid taking on credit card debt. If your only income was from Social Security and retirement savings accounts, then having this much extra cash would mean that even if something bad happened, like losing your job, you could still pay off all those bills without going into debt again. Another example. Imagine you want a new house but don't have enough saved up yet because houses are expensive. If this situation were real life instead of hypothetical fiction, and I hope it will be someday, then one way around this problem would be by putting away part of each paycheck into an account specifically for buying houses until eventually enough savings has accumulated over time so that when ready-to-go day comes along at last, because yes indeedy diddly ding dong, we've got ourselves an actual house now. Third, pay off high-interest debt. Picking up the pace and paying off high-interest debt is one of the first steps to achieving financial freedom. It can be the most effective method for reducing your overall debt and getting out of it. High-interest debt is just that. Any credit card, payday loan, or other type of loan with an APR, annual percentage rate, greater than 10%. Anything higher than that means you're paying more interest per year than what you originally borrowed in the first place. If this sounds confusing, it's because it is, and that's why people get themselves into trouble by taking on these kinds of loans in the first place. The key here is not to avoid paying back your high-interest debts entirely but rather make a plan for how much you can afford each month toward them while still keeping up with all your other bills, like rent. Then set aside part of whatever extra money comes in every month, side hustle income, and put that toward those debts before anything else. Fourth, make sure your money works for you. The first step to achieving financial freedom is to make sure your money is working for you. As the old saying goes, time is money. The longer your money sits in a savings account without earning interest or growing, the less valuable it becomes over time. If you want to achieve financial freedom, then invest in stocks, or other investments, that have potential for growth and yield higher returns than savings accounts or CDs. You can also invest in real estate, which allows you to own property but still have it managed by someone else. If you don't want to be responsible for managing properties yourself but would rather focus on other things like improving yourself or spending time with loved ones, or if the idea of buying and selling property makes you feel queasy, you can look into investing in a business instead. Fifth, be open to new opportunities. Be open to new opportunities. You may have a clear plan for your financial freedom, but you should always be ready to change and adapt it as circumstances dictate. If you're working toward financial freedom, then prepare yourself for the possibility that your business might not work out or that some other unexpected event will come up. Be willing to learn new things as well. If something comes up that you don't know how to do but think could help with achieving your goals, like learning how to use Excel, then take a class or ask someone who does know. Be willing to take risks. To achieve financial freedom, sometimes it's necessary, even imperative, to take risks along the way. Starting a business when there are no guarantees of success, investing in stocks even though they could lose money, buying real estate without being sure if prices will rise again soon enough before interest rates rise too high and make such investments unattractive again. This happened during 2018. The more riskier things become during an economic downturn like 2008-2009 or now over recent years due to Brexit, Trump tariffs, trade wars, etc., then greater will be potential returns from having invested wisely in those risky assets. Sixth, make a budget and stick to it. A budget is crucial for any person who wants to be financially free. You can't make a plan on how much money you want to save without first deciding where that money will come from. If you don't have a budget, it can be easy for your spending habits to get out of control and leave little left over for savings. Even if the thought of creating a budget makes your palms sweat and heart pound, don't worry, we're here to help. The first thing you'll need is pen and paper, or an app like Mint, which we'll use throughout this guide as our example method of tracking expenses. Once you've got these tools in hand, take 5 minutes out of your day before bedtime tonight and write down what money came into your life today, whether it was earned or received as a gift, and spent on anything else besides food, shelter and transportation costs, aka fixed expenses. Then do the same tomorrow morning when those days are complete. Just remember, no cheating. Seventh, keep up with your spending habits. Next, you must make a list of your spending habits. This includes the money you spend on non-essential items like coffee or takeout and also the money you spend on items that are not really necessary but seem to be desired. Once this list has been written down, keep track of how much money is spent in each category each month. Once this is done, try to cut back on the unnecessary spending while still maintaining a comfortable lifestyle. Finally, once all these steps have been completed and adopted into daily life, create a budget and stick to it. Eighth, understand the value of paying yourself first. Paying yourself first means that you put money into savings before paying other bills. This is a habit that will help you build wealth. When you pay yourself first, money doesn't leave your pocket until it has been allocated to the things that are important to you. You don't have to decide between paying the rent or buying groceries. Your money goes into your savings account before anything else comes out of your account. When I started my blog and began making more money from freelance writing, I made sure that at least 50% of every paycheck went straight into savings, and sometimes more than 100%. That habit helped me get out of debt quickly and build up my emergency fund for when life happens without warning, like when my car broke down. Ninth, if you're willing to put in some time and make smart decisions, financial freedom can be within reach. Financial freedom is a state of being. It doesn't mean that you have millions in the bank, or even hundreds of thousands. Financial freedom means feeling confident and secure in your finances and knowing that no matter what happens, you can handle it. That's not to say that money isn't important, it is. But money doesn't guarantee happiness, nor does it ensure financial security. In fact, money can make us feel more anxious than we'd like to admit. Just think about how many times you've heard someone say, "I don't need any more money," but then turn around and buy something anyway because they couldn't resist the urge. Just as there's no one path to happiness, and everyone finds different things fulfilling, there are many paths toward achieving financial independence, and none are necessarily better than another. They just require different values from those who take them.